See so many familiar faces after 7 years of having this event. And I welcome some of our new guests as well to this wonderful event that we try to make special and memorable for everybody. My name is Gina Clark, and I have the great honor and esteemed pleasure of working for the MDA and introducing our wonderful MC for tonight. It was, oh my gosh, I want to say nearly 17 years ago that our paths crossed while trying to raise awareness about the MDA, about the 43 muscle wasting diseases that MDA cares for, and the need for the vital funds to help those living with these muscle wasting diseases. And ever since then, this individual has played such a big part in helping the MDA local office right here in the Towson area offer help and hope to our MDA children and adults. You know, she truly is an amazing advocate for our important cause. She even has established long-lasting relationships with our local MDA team, our families, volunteers, and of course our loyal supporters such as you. She continues to be a valued volunteer at several MDA events throughout the year, such as tonight. You didn't see her on the news. If you just checked, Kai is alone tonight. And the entire MDA family truly does refer to her as part of our family. Please join me in welcoming tonight's MC, Fox 45's Evening News lead anchor, Ms. Jennifer Gilbert.
Introduction, so sweet of you. And yes, this is a cause that is very close to my heart, and I'm thrilled to be back here once again for the now 7th annual Party for a QR. Yeah, and what was it, 17 years ago? So I was 10 when I started. Yeah, we're gonna go with that.
I was 11.
We'll go with those numbers. But a really great night, a really great organization, and the amazing work that they do for some pretty incredible families and some pretty incredible kids, and I'm just thrilled to be a part of it. And of course, MDA would not be able to continue in its life-saving programs for those diagnosed with neuromuscular diseases without the generosity of all of you that are here tonight. And as Gina said, it is great to see so many familiar faces back once again. And then great to see the crowd. I mean, I love that it was overflow parking tonight. Really great sign, and wonderful to meet so many new people at this event. It is indeed my pleasure. I'm so proud to be standing here fighting against the 43 muscle wasting diseases that are known as muscular dystrophy. And I would like to take a moment now especially to thank our hosts for tonight, Karen Barber, Leah Mert Gaines, Kelly McDonald, John Vardavis, and Laura Cannon. Without your vision and generosity, this night would not be possible. So let's give a great round of applause for tonight's hosts. We also have some amazing sponsors that are here tonight. I'm going to go through the list and talk about the individual areas where they have sponsored, and we will give them a great round of applause at the end. Our summer camp activity sponsors this evening are the Barber Group, Gaines and Company, Vardavis and Concannon, MetaFast, the McDonald Family Foundation, Maven Construction and Environmental, and Prudential Insurance. Our summer camp cabin sponsors tonight are Johns Hopkins Medicine, Casey Overseas, and Theo Pyjanis. Research sponsors for this evening's affair are MT Laney, Brown Advisory, and HD Supply. Our Send a Child to Summer Camp sponsors are Anderson and Catania, the Surety Services, M&T Bank, Pillar Construction, RHI Incorporated, Brian and Mary Jo Rogers, sorry Brian, Stella May Contracting, and the Kenya and Trisant Group, Thomas Angelosi Inc., Twin Enterprises, and Clark Construction. Let's have a round of applause for all of those wonderful sponsors. So it was back in 1998 appreciate that I started with the MDA doing the telethons, and we know that is a chapter that's gone by, an era that's gone by, but do we have some great times? Those Labor Day weekends were really incredible. And we've moved into a different era for the Muscular Dystrophy Association, but it is all wonderful, and I've had such a great pleasure meeting incredible ambassadors like Hannah, who is graduating high school in a few days. She's a baby. Congratulations, Hannah. And Hunter, who is here with us tonight, he's going to talk to us about camp in just a minute. Hunter and Brett and Darren. And Brian, good to see you. And if you are here tonight, and maybe this is your first time here, if you do nothing else tonight, take a moment, introduce yourself, say hello to these kids. They are incredible people. They will enrich your heart, enrich your spirit. They will give you perspective on life, and you will walk away here tonight thinking, I'm so glad I walked through the doors just to meet these wonderful children. Speaking of amazing, Darren, who is returning as a guest of ours tonight, a local artist that has made quite a name for himself. Many of you are already very familiar with Darren's work. You know that his pieces have included Ray Lewis and Torrey Smith and Torrey Smith's brother Tevin. Darren is living with congenital muscular dystrophy, and he has generously donated to our live auction tonight, and he is there beside his gorgeous work of art, and we can all see who that is, Olympic medalist Michael Phelps. Beautiful. Darren, thank you, and we look forward to auctioning off your artwork at our live auction in just a little bit. Some of the dollars raised tonight help to support Summer Camp, which is a chance for children living with muscle wasting diseases to experience a place where there are no barriers. Life is like camp for any other kid. They get to do the most amazing things because everything is accessible there. They get to play football. They get to go swimming. They get to go horseback riding. They get to ride on a Harley-Davidson motorcycle, which is pretty amazing. So this week at camp is really something special. I know many of you in this room already know about it, but for those of you who don't, you're going to learn a little bit more about it. Hannah's going to talk a little bit more about it in just a few minutes. I said, is Hannah going to camp this year? And her mom says, are you kidding me? She's not going to miss her last year. So Hannah's going to tell us all about camp in just a few minutes, but it's a really special time. And all of you coming here tonight, you're not only providing help and providing that amazing week of summer camp for kids, but you're also helping in some other very important areas. You know, when you look at the wheelchairs that these children use every day, these are expensive pieces of equipment. They have to be maintained. They have to be replaced after a certain amount of time. These are all real expenses. And your money here tonight helps to go towards making sure that these children and young adults have the durable medical equipment that they need. It means that they can go to a clinic like the amazing clinic at Johns Hopkins, one of 3 MDA-funded clinics, where they can get the services that they need there. And beyond that, the big picture, you're providing help and hope for tomorrow. Tonight's proceeds will be translated into research dollars. So hopefully we can all just come here one night for a party and it's not about raising money, because we will one day find a cure for these 43 diseases. So it is very important that your dollars are being put toward good work here tonight. And on that note, I am extremely honored to present to you Dr. Charlotte Sumner. She is an associate professor of neurology and neuroscience at Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine. She cares for patients with inherited diseases of motor neurons and peripheral nerves, such as spinal muscular atrophy and Charcot-Marie-Tooth, that both fall under the MDA umbrella. Dr. Sumner also co-directs the Johns Hopkins CMT Clinic. Her research focuses on the genetic and cellular pathogenesis of SMAs, with particular attention to therapeutics development for these disorders. She is an associate editor of the journal Experimental Neurology, an advisor to several companies that are developing treatments, very important part of the picture, developing treatments to treat SMA. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Charlotte Sumner.
I really feel particularly honored to be here tonight and to talk to you because I really want to thank the MDA and all of you who support the MDA. It's really quite difficult to imagine where we would be today in neuromuscular diseases without the MDA. As a physician and a researcher, and I know my colleagues who are here tonight also feel this way, MDA really is the bedrock support that allows us to do the things that we aim to do. And that is to support and treat individuals who are living with these diseases and to pursue research that we hope will lead to new treatments and cures. So I went back and did a little research about the MDA, and I had forgotten that in fact the MDA was started in 1950. So this organization has been involved in this fight for many decades. And it is the leading nonprofit organization that funds research for these diseases. In fact, if you consider the entire government investment, the NIH investment in these diseases, the MDA's investment is a third of that amount. So it's a huge amount, and it's incredibly important for this work. But what's remarkable about the MDA to me is not just that, but in fact how inclusive and comprehensive it's been in this area. The MDA does not deal with just one disease. It deals with over 40 diseases. And it deals with those diseases that affect not just the muscle itself, the muscular dystrophies, but those diseases that affect the nerves that go to the muscles. SMA and ALS are examples. The MDA also invests in all aspects. It invests in clinical care, in patient support, clinical and basic research, and also in developing the next generation of researchers who will make advances in these diseases. So at Hopkins, I'm really fortunate. I work and see individuals living with these diseases in our MDA-supported neuromuscular clinic. And this is just one of about 230 MDA-supported clinics across the country. So MDA is doing so much across the country to support individuals living with muscle diseases. In the clinic, we see both children and adults, and we see a number of different diseases, and different individuals have many different needs. The MDA now enables us actually to work as a team, a multidisciplinary team that includes neurologists, it includes physical therapists, occupational therapists, genetic counselors, equipment providers. And really, together as a team, we attempt to address the needs of our patients. But I think what's even more special about what MDA clinics do is that it brings MDA representatives into the clinic. These individuals, and the newest contributor to our clinic is Amanda Taylor. We're really excited to have Amanda. These individuals meet our patients in the clinic, and then after the clinic, long after clinic is finished, often follow up personally to make sure that medical needs are in fact addressed, and that individuals with these diseases are integrated into the MDA family, integrated so that they receive appropriate information and appropriate support. So MDA is remarkable in how they have invested in clinical care, but they've also invested in patient and family support in a way that's really special. One of the periods that's most difficult for individuals living with these diseases is the transition from childhood to adulthood. As children grow older, they strive to establish more independence with their disabilities. And of course, for parents, understandably, it's a scary period to let their children go and have them live independently at times. The MDA has recognized that this is a particularly challenging transition, and even back in 2008, invested in a task force to address these issues and set out a roadmap to independence, a guide for individuals to make this transition. But of course, the best example of how MDA supports this community is the MDA Summer Camp, which you already heard a little bit about. This was started 60 years ago, and thousands of children attend these camps across the country. It's a fully funded camp for children aged 6 to 17 with an MDA-supported disease. As my colleague Tom Crawford put it, camp represents an important aspect of maturation, a place where kids can learn special skills and develop lifelong relationships in a safe and fully accessible environment. The camp is also a place where those that attend as counselors gain incredible experiences. I've had several students who have worked in my laboratory on SMA go to the MDA camp and serve as counselors and said this has been, in some cases, life-changing for them. One of these students of mine, James Van Meerbach, is now a second-year medical student at the University of Maryland. And he said this to me. The best part about MDA summer camp is that to the campers, it just feels like a regular summer camp. There's fishing, boating, football, crafts, and all the other things you would picture in a summer camp. The difference is that it's the only summer camp that kids can go where nobody thinks twice about the campers using wheelchairs or walkers, and nobody laughs when someone falls down. Nobody cares when somebody needs help showering, going to the bathroom, or eating. For most of their lives, kids are visibly different from their peers, but at camp, they're all just campers. James also said this, an added bonus is they don't have to rely on their parents during this week. This is particularly important for middle and high school students who are really at an age where they're starting to develop their individuality. The parents enjoy dropping their kids off at camp. My parents enjoy dropping me off at camp. But at MDA camp, they especially enjoy how much fun their kids can have without having to worry if they're being taken care of. There's a doctor, 3 nurses, someone who can fix their wheelchairs, and a 1-to-1 camper to counselor ratio. So camp is extraordinary. So these initiatives of clinical care and support are great achievements of the MDA. But importantly, the MDA is not content with the status quo in terms of the current treatment options. The MDA's broad research scope has enabled them to make strategic investments in potential transformative novel technologies that can be applied to multiple diseases. The lessons learned in one disease have been powerfully informative about the others. One example of this is the emerging area of antisense oligonucleotides. So I don't want to get too technical here, but these are new drugs made of synthetic nucleic acid. This is the same stuff that makes up our DNA. And they can be used to target RNA products made by many of the genes that cause neuromuscular diseases. And they're very flexible. They can be used in different ways and in different diseases. And they're now being evaluated in muscular dystrophies and in ALS and in SMA. My own lab has been particularly focused on studying SMA, and we've seen a remarkable advance in the field over the last 20 years when the gene was first discovered. To now, we actually have phase 3 clinical trials of these antisense oligotherapies in SMA. Even more remarkable, we don't just have ASOs for SMA. We have gene therapy and small molecules, which are drugs we might be able to take by mouth. So now, amazingly, there are over a dozen big pharmaceutical and biotech companies with drug development programs for SMA. Whereas 15 years ago, the entire global research community in SMA was about 25 people sitting around in a small room with some chairs. So we've come a long way, and this is a time of incredibly great hope. But I would argue this is not the time to divest, but the time to double down. There's still much work for us to do, and I'm very hopeful that some of these initial treatments will be efficacious. But I'm also realistic that we'll need to improve on them, and that combinations of different treatments with targeting different pathways are likely to be more useful. And one thing I have no doubt of is that the MDA is going to be the leader in this journey towards treatments for these diseases. So I'm proud to be part of this community. Thank you so much.
Dr. Sumner, thank you so much. Thank you for your important work. Thank you for the work that Johns Hopkins does. How wonderful for the families that are in this local MDA area that they have Johns Hopkins so close. Thank you for bringing us up to date on the research, the drugs, the fact that these drug companies are paying attention. It's very exciting. Thank you. So we're going to hear more about camp now. I'm done talking for a while. Hannah, make your way on up here. So Hannah had a prom a few weeks ago. She's wearing a beautiful prom dress. Isn't she gorgeous? Just want to make sure we're not getting feedback here. So we're going to get you set up. Let's try to stay back behind the scenes. All right. So Hannah knows a thing or two about summer camp, and she's going to tell you all about it. There you go.
Hello, everyone. First off, I just want to thank Ms. Karen so much for doing this. This is my favorite event for MDA of all the years. This is an amazing event. Thank you all who have been coming. And MDA is really amazing. But about camp. Camp it's a magical place. People think, oh, you're just saying that. No, it really is amazing. Kids you learn how to almost be independent from your parents. That's a very difficult thing when you have to rely on them for most anything. Getting dressed, feeding, even going to the bathroom. But you learn how to have to ask other people for help, which I know personally, I don't like asking people, can you grab me that piece, can you grab me that plate, because I can't reach it. I don't like asking because I feel weird, but at camp you learn you do need to ask people, and they don't mind if you ask them. Sometimes they won't realize it, but if you ask them, they're fine with it. So it helps you get out of your comfort zone and helps you realize that, yes, there are very good things at home, but you need to also be able to go out in the world and realize that there are good people out in the world like you all who will help you if you need help. So camp has taught me very good life lessons on how to ask people for help, which I really used to hate asking. So that's definitely one of the main things I've gotten out of camp. So thank you. I guess so. She said I've been a mentor to other children, which I guess is true. But I can't really, it's not necessarily your mentor, it's just you're all friends. It doesn't matter about the age, which is another cool thing. But it's a cool thing, we learn things from each other, but a lot of times in the real world, you don't have friends if they're 30 or 40 years older than you, or if they're even like 5 or 10 years older than you. But at camp, you're able to make friends and learn how to make friends with people who are a lot older than you, which is a very good thing to learn. You don't have to just be friends with someone your exact age, which is another great thing I've learned at camp and I will truly cherish.
Thank you, Hannah, for sharing that wonderful insight with us. I'd now like to introduce Brad Dudley, who's going to help me out a little bit here with the rest of the evening. He is from Brad Dudley & Sons Auctioneering in Timonium, right? All right, we've got a great auction ahead of us in just a few minutes. But before we get to that, you have heard firsthand what gives these children so much pleasure at camp, the lifelong friendships that they have made, the self-esteem, the independence that they've talked about, improved social skills, a sense of independence to help them with their future, as Dr. Sumner talked about, that important time of transitioning from childhood to becoming a young adult. Well, it really does help them all year long and throughout their lives. Now, camp costs $800 to send one child to camp. It's money that comes from people who care like you. We have a duty now to send as many kids to camp as possible, and we hope that all of you are here to make a difference in the lives of children. And Hunter is joining us right now, and I'm going to talk to Hunter here in just a minute about what camp means to him, but we want to get some people involved with these, the sheets that you have at your seat, right?
Thank you, Jennifer. And like she said, we will do the live auction part here in just a few minutes. But first, everybody here at your chair has a great way of contributing tonight that are with these cards that are down there for you. You know, generally when you do a benefit auction, when you do benefit sales, sometimes you've got like 10, 12, 15 items, things like that, and only those 10 or 12 people in that room were able to contribute by purchasing those items. So we're going to have 3 live items, but this is a great way for a little bit more participation by filling out these cards. You get an opportunity, for instance, to donate 1 cabinet kids for the summer camp, which is $3,500. You get a chance to do 3 kids for summer camp, which is $2,400, as you can see right here on your list. Then you can have 2 kids for $1,600. 1 child, and I do have one here already that was called in. This was from Stella May Contracting, and she's already given us a donation of 1 child for $800. Then a half a week is $400. Camp art supplies, and as you can see, it's all at graduating levels, so that it makes it a little bit easier if you can't obviously put a whole cabin together. You certainly can help us out by doing 1 day, which is $125. Life-saving flu shot is $30. And if you got a great idea, you can put that in there for the other part, right? Could be a great idea, or if you want to give more, because we didn't have a slot for more. So if you certainly want to, you can certainly do that. Just put your bidder number on there, and then we'll be gathering these up just before we do the live sale, correct? And before we do the live sale, we'll gather some of these up, and you can check out, just like you would check out for the silent auctions. You can check out with your cards there. Yes, ma'am.
So, real quick, the reason why this whole party exists, right, is because of this young lady, Hannah. When she was 8 years old, she held my hand during a lockup, and she sat me down at a table, and had raised $3,000, and I thought I couldn't do it. There's no way. Well, I did. I raised $3,000, and by the 4th year, during that lockup, because of Hannah, I raised $21,000. And I contacted all my clients from Alaska to Puerto Rico, and I said, I don't care if you're in Maryland, you're gonna donate to me. And they said, we want to keep you in jail, so we're gonna give you money. Right? So it's because of Hannah that this party exists. And Hunter, we're so glad that you were able to come along and be supportive of it as well, plus others. But I'm willing tonight to do the 1 cabin kids to summer camp of $3,500. Woo! Challenge me, I would really appreciate it, because I know there's people here that have more money than I do.